Hey y'all, my name's Bryant Young.
And Derek Chaney.
Here with the Decent Dads Podcast. Brand new episode this week. This is only the second time we've recorded this intro.
Yeah, I think it's our first episode, but no, man, it was a fun one, man. We had a great guest. Kody Redwing hopped on the podcast today.
Yes, so business dad, sports dad, but also we got to talk about a topic that we've not talked about on the show yet.
Surprisingly, we hadn't talked about
it.
Like
like where you're going to send your kids to school and whether you're going to go public or private or
big, small.
Yeah,
what you're going to do with that?
It was kind of fun. It was cool, and again, it's one of those conversations we've had off the air,
right?
Outside of this
several times.
room,
right?
But we've not actually talked about it on the show, so we're glad that Kody brought that up. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it, and we want to hear your input. Tell us what you think.
Absolutely.
You got anything?
Well, and also too, I think this was our best set of dad jokes.
Oh yeah, for sure. The dad jokes were good this week, so stick around for those.
There was no duds there.
No, there weren't. That was pretty solid. So I think we jump right into this.
Let's do it.
All right, Decent Dads Podcast. Here we go. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to the Decent Dads Podcast. We're here to tell dad jokes, drink coffee, and build a community of dads navigating fatherhood together. I'm Bryant Young, fearless leader, co-host, girl dad, and your friendly local insurance agent based out of Springfield, Missouri. And now, before we get started on today's episode, please help me welcome. He's a 6'3" sophomore shooting guard from small town Missouri. He wishes he was a first-team All-American, but instead, he's the coolest co-host with the most, a fantastic father of two, and the home loan expert. Folks, put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Derek Chaney. How are you, DC?
Sir. Thank you, sir.
What's up, dog?
Man, it's been a day.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know.
Did you have to do a little work today, finally?
Well, yeah, I was busy.
So many vacations.
I was busy
and
at work, but it was a good busy, so I'm not complaining about that.
Good.
But when I get home from work, I walk in the door. Liam's losing it. He's crying. And I come around the corner and I see him and he's crying, losing it. And Allie's just holding a napkin with blood.
Oh, shit. Oh no. Everybody all right?
Yeah, I guess he was playing on our bed and he reached for something, fell off of it, and hit one of our nightstands like right there on the corner of his mouth. And like he had a big cut on the inside of his mouth. And we're like, oh no.
That's not good.
Yeah,
inside of his mouth too. So it's, he's just.
It bled like crazy.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
But other than that, it's been a good day for a good day.
It's a good day.
Got hoppy coffee. Got a great guest, and man, I'm excited about this one because we had a first today. The guest was so excited to be here that he beat me here.
That's right, Kody,
Absolutely.
Mr. Prompt.
So yeah.
Kody showed up and beat Derek. Derek always beats everybody here.
That's right. So I was a little surprised when I pulled in the driveway today. But yeah, got a great guy, great dad on the podcast today, Kody Redwing. Kody, we know you a little bit.
Yeah.
Some people might not. So if you will, tell us who you are, what you do, give us your dad resume, Tell us how many kids you got, what are their ages, which one's your favorite.
Yeah. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Bryant. Looking forward to chatting about dad stuff today.
Glad you're here, man.
Thank you. So, yeah, Kody Redwing. I work for the Vecino Group, which is a national affordable housing development company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm based here in Springfield, Missouri. Very fortunate to be married to my wife, Rebecca. Next month will be our 7-year anniversary.
Nice.
Yeah,
Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been a heck of a ride.
7 years, man. That's killer. Good for you.
I know. And we're super busy. We've got 2 little boys at home. Our oldest, Owen, he turns 3 next month. In September, and our youngest, Jackson, just turned 1. So we are super busy chasing those 2 boys around.
Got your hands full.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and it sounds very specific and mirrored to somebody else I know who has a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Yeah, we're probably going through all the same stuff right now.
I think we all kind of started having kids around
we
the
did.
same time.
We did.
Well, and you're part of that original, OG Rotaract group of people and you're right, everybody kind of got married within a 2 or 3 year period, and then everybody started having kids right around the same time, and so at some point we're gonna have to start a football team or something. Absolutely. And just throw all of the kids in a pile. All right, go. Elsie, you're gonna play tackle.
Definitely.
Her and Brody.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of your kids, we always got to start with the tantrum of the week. I mean, inevitably, no matter how old your kids are, they're probably having tantrums.
Definitely.
And we're right in the middle of it. You're getting out of the terrible twos and into the three-nager years.
Yep.
What's going on in your house?
Constant tantrums.
Nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop, and especially now with Jackson, he's on the move, big time, crawling and pulling himself up. So anytime he sees Owen and whatever Owen's got going on, he wants to get right in the middle of that, and that never goes well. So Owen is pushing him down with the table, pushing him down with toys, what have you. But he'll still apologize, and at the end, and
That's good.
Be a sweet older brother. But I think the tantrum that comes to mind actually was, I think it was yesterday. Owen, I can't remember what he did, but he did something right. So we gave him a cookie.
Nice.
And the thing about Owen is, I wouldn't call him a picky eater. Like, he will eat different foods and vegetables and things, but he's very picky about the setup and the type of,
okay.
Yeah, like the plate we're using, the silverware we're using, the condiments, all that stuff. He's
Small spoon guy, big spoon guy.
big spoon guy, for sure. So anyway, he's just super picky about his food. So we gave him one cookie, and a small cup of milk. He proceeded to dip the cookie in the milk, which makes a lot of sense.
Naturally,
yeah,
sure.
of course.
Smart kid.
But then he looks at it, and he regretted it. He just said, "No, I don't want milk on this cookie." And he starts
Start
freaking
waving it
out.
around.
Yeah, he goes,
Gotta get the
"Dad,
milk out of it."
Dad, wash this cookie.
Wash
Wash this
the
cookie. I'm like, what? So I grab the cookie, and I'm thinking, I'll just turn around and kind of lick some of the milk off.
Right.
So that's what I do. He sees that.
Oh, no.
Meltdown.
Oh,
He's on the ground. He's crawling around. I mean, like, the world is over.
Right.
You know, everything's
How
bad.
dare you?
So I'm like, well, I have no choice. I'm gonna have to wash this cookie.
Did you actually go walk over to the
Yeah.
sink?
So I walk over to the sink. He watches me. He's laying down, but he's keeping his eyes
Right.
on me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I just I rinse it with water really fast. Bring it back to him. Everything's good.
Yeah?
All is well in
Everything's
the
perfect.
world.
Yeah, perfect.
That's so funny.
So those are the type of tantrums that just
Right.
takes something that small, you know,
how
to
particular
trigger it.
they can be.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude, that's so funny.
That's a good, that's a good story.
Yep.
Shoot, man.
Well, I've got one. So I've been dealing with this a little bit, Kody, where mom is definitely the favorite still, and has been for several months.
Yep.
Plus years.
Going on, just right at 2+ years, which is how old she is.
Right, her whole life.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
whole life. Yeah, exactly. But Liv has been ill this week, has been sick. Elsie, we don't really know if this is what happened, but Liv somehow ended up with hand, foot, and mouth. And it's like, and she's got a couple little sores in her mouth, and she's got a fever. Elsie never had it. And or if she had it, she never showed any symptoms.
Right.
And so we, of course, were completely... Excuse me. We were completely floored. Liv goes to the doctor. She doesn't feel well. She's running a fever. And the doc goes, "Yeah, you've got hand, foot, and mouth." And Liv goes, "What?
Excuse me?
How's that possible?" But so imagine sick mom, who is the favorite, is now very much not able to be around the kid,
Tough equation.
and the guy who also lives in the house that you have to now put up with as the child. It's been nonstop for the last 3 or 4 days because I'm doing all the bedtime stuff. Liv's able to, because I had school, or I had continuing education stuff this week. Liv took Elsie to school in the mornings, but that was basically the extent of the actual face-to-face time that she had with Elsie all week. And so, I get Elsie home from school and she can say hi to mom, but Liv's been wearing a mask, which is also, I was going to be my dad hack, so I'll just kind of do both here.
Yeah.
Liv's been wearing a mask around the house because she doesn't want to get anybody sick, so dad hack from the pandemic, keep those masks around. They work pretty well to not get anybody actually sick. Go figure, that's what they're designed for.
I wondered why doctors wore them.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works, right? But every single waking moment has been, well, where's mommy? I want to go hang out with mommy. Hey, mommy's fun. Mommy's really fun. That's what she's been saying to me. Look me dead in the face. Mommy's really fun. And so it's like, great. I love you too.
Rip it
Please,
out.
please
Yep.
love me. Please, God, love
How's
me.
that? How does that go for your confidence, your ego?
Yeah,
you know?
I've been making this joke with my family lately, but it's like my wife is cream of the crop, followed close second to both sets of grandparents, and then maybe it's like the yard, flowers,
the dog.
her spray bottle, then the dog, and then several other things, and then I'm down here under the table.
Gotcha.
And so it's one of those deals where I've been used to this for a while
Hey,
now.
you're on the list.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on the
I made
list.
the top
Yeah.
100,
That's
so I'm
top
really
100,
excited
yeah.
about that. But yeah, so tantrums for me is sick wife, and kid wants to hang out with her, but can't
no
do that
good.
right
Yeah,
now.
well,
So
maybe with all this quality
fortunately, Liv's
time,
feeling better.
You'll move up the list a little bit. You'll be number 95, 94, something like that.
She will. We will do the high five, fist bump, noggin thing.
Yeah.
That's every night. That's our new thing now.
There
so
you
we're
go.
really excited
See?
about that.
See?
Perfect.
We're getting there, baby.
It's working.
She'll like me one of these days. What about you?
That's right. So I'm pulling another one out of the old road trip that we had.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably the most epic one that we had during the road trip. So we'd been in the car for 3 or 4 hours, and the boys hadn't taken a nap at this point. So they're tired, right? But we get to this town in South Dakota. It's called Wall, and in Wall there's this giant store called Wall Drug, and it's a big tourist trap, is what it is.
I was going to say I've heard that name.
I've heard of it too.
All
Yeah.
these like little souvenirs, little knick-knacks, stuff like
Perfect for little
think
kids.
of like
Yeah.
the stores at Silver Dollar City. That's
Yep.
basically what this is. It's a giant one of those. But we was like, we got to stop, get the boys out, stretch our legs, that type of stuff. So we got out, and sure enough, we open the door, and right when we walk in the door, there's a shelf of all these toy trucks, and it has like kids' names on it. Those types of
Yeah.
toys. And so Liam sees
Liam's
that.
dead.
Yeah, and he runs to it and he grabs one, and he's just latched onto it. And we're like, oh, that would be kind of fun to get,
Sure.
a toy truck with his name, and but he grabs one that just has a random name on it. Like, I think it's like Josh or something like that, whatever. And so he's like, okay, well, we'll find one with Liam and Brody. So sure enough, we did find one with Liam, found one with Brody.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
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 Awesome.
But there was only one Liam truck, and it was a red truck. And the truck he had in his hand was a blue truck.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but
Speaking of particular.
right?
Mhm.
But we was like, we got this. We can figure this out. And so we take both trucks to the cashier.
Uh-huh.
We tell the cashier, hey, can you just scan one of these and put it in the bag? And we're like, we got this. So they do that. And we just leave it in the bag. And we're like, oh, we're good, right? That's what we think anyway.
We're so sneaky.
Sure.
We're so
Right,
sneaky.
right?
We
Yeah,
did it.
We were so
Got
proud
him.
of ourselves at this point, okay? Get to the car. Get him strapped in his car seat. He's like, I want my truck. And we're like, well, yeah, you're going to be in the car for a little bit. Yeah, we'll give you your truck so you can play with it. We give it to him. He immediately notices it is a red truck, not a blue truck, and loses it.
Oh no.
I mean, he throws this thing. He's kicking the crap out of the seat in front of him. I mean, this kid is having. I mean, again, he's strapped in his car seat, so he can't go anywhere. But he's having like an exorcism right here in the back seat of the car, just losing, hitting the window and stuff. And we're like, what the heck is going on? And he was like so bad. Like we took everything away from him. We took all his toys away from him. Took his like little soft blanket that he always has away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Still losing it. And it's like one of those ones where you're like, you know what? Just let this play out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let it ride.
He lost it for 20 minutes, and finally he calmed down. I
mean, at some point, it's like they have to run out of breath when
Right,
they're having
right.
Yeah,
those
absolutely.
tantrums, and,
And
it's
you know what's
wild.
funny? That damn red truck now is his favorite freaking toy
Of course
car.
it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I can't get over. So we grew up in, because we all grew up around here more or less, and we went to Silver Dollar City at least a couple of times when we were kids.
Mhm.
Your name is spelled differently, just like my name is kind of spelled differently.
Yeah.
I'm sure you found plenty of Derek toys as a kid. Did you ever find a Kody
There's no
with
Cody's
a K
with a K. Nope.
I was like,
Never.
things anywhere?
Never.
Because Bryant didn't exist either.
well,
Really?
do you know how many different,
Bryant certainly
okay, that
did.
makes sense.
Bryant did
no.
not. Anywhere.
do you know how many different ways you can spell Derek though? That was a problem I always ran into.
Oh, did they? Well, you at least you don't have a Y. Yours is just
Right.
two E's. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. Finding
Yeah.
the right one. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Silver Dollar City thing, that last little store when you're leaving,
Yeah.
that always
That you
broke
have to
my
walk
heart.
through.
Exactly. That always broke my heart.
Yeah,
It's like,
you're
maybe
looking
they'll have one this
like
time.
A's,
No.
B's.
No,
nothing.
no keychain for you,
Brian,
kid.
no
Yeah.
No keychain for you.
Yeah, well, I feel your pain because
Yeah.
I not one Kody with a K.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
not at all. I get it.
Those jerks. Gosh. talk to the toy factories or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, Kody, the next thing we always ask everybody is, share with us maybe, a good dad hack.
Dad hack alert!
That works well with you, or maybe you've got some good dad advice in the past that you want to share with some other dads.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that really helped me, I read it in a book. I think it was in the Montessori Toddler. But there was a quote in that book that the minute I read it, I was like, this is good. And it just said, your kids are not, and it was talking specifically about toddlers, and it said that they are not giving you a hard time, they are having a hard time. And so, it kind of went on to explain
well
that,
said.
but it was like, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And, I think when you keep that in mind with the constant tantrums and the constant ups and downs with toddlers, it's just helpful. It's good to keep your energy kind of on an even keel and stay patient and realize that they're trying to communicate
Right.
and they're unable to communicate right now. So you need to be there for them and help basically.
Absolutely. Well, and you've got such big peaks and valleys anyway that it's probly pretty hard for you to stay level-headed. This is a huge jug. I'm completely kidding.
You can't tell. He's a super emotional guy here. Yeah.
No, that's good. I really like that. So did you do a lot of reading when you were coming into daddom?
Yeah, for sure. There's one author in particular that I would recommend because I read probably 3 or 4 of his books. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Even better. But please try.
I believe it's Armin, Armin, and I believe it's Brott or Broat, Brott.
Okay.
I might want to verify that.
I'm going to say Brott. I'm going to go with Brott. I'm good with that.
After the podcast here, but
we'll edit in post. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. He did The Expectant Father, which was a great book. I read that before ever having the first kid. And then he also does like a book for 0 to 1 and 1 to 3. So I've read those.
Oh, cool.
But anyway, easy reads, like 150, 200 pages.
Oh, nice.
Good author.
I can do that.
There you go.
And so it helped me feel comfortable kind of going into the whole fatherhood journey for sure.
That's cool because we've talked about that several times on the show that it's like there's so many different resources.
Yeah.
And so finding one that you like is a blessing, but also being able to wade through all the crap because there is a lot of crap.
Especially nowadays with all the content just in the world and being able
We don't
to
know
filter
anything
that.
about making content. Hi, Internet. What do you got, DC?
Oh, man, that leads perfectly into my dad hack, too. So I love that you brought that up because since we have got back from vacation, getting Liam to go to sleep at night has been very, very difficult.
Still struggling, huh?
Yeah, he got, used to sleeping in the bed with us while he was on vacay. And now every night, we go through our nighttime routine and he's like, you stay here with me. You stay with me. And as soon as you leave the room, he loses it bad.
Yeah.
And
Poor buddy.
used to, we get a little frustrated with him. It's in the night. We're tired too. And we try to discipline him. And that didn't work. And so finally, after like a week or two, I think it kind of clicked for us, kind of like what you were saying right here. It's like, this isn't working. And, he's frustrated too. So let's try to switch this around. So we tried, hey, let's do like a calm approach, right? Because I think they feed off whatever energy you're giving out. I think they feed off that. So if you're frustrated, they're going to be frustrated. If you're calm, they're going to be calm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, okay, let's try this. So we'd go through our nighttime routine, and here's where the dad hack is. We'd tell him, we're like, hey, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Come check on you, okay? And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. And so we go, do something for 5 minutes, and we come back. We wouldn't even go in his room. We just poke our head in his door and be like, hey, bud, you doing okay? And he pops up. He's like, yep, doing okay. Okay, well, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay.
Whoa, solid.
Smart.
And he lays back down, okay? And so probably, I don't know, after 5 or 6 times, probably 30 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell each time, he when he pops up,
Getting
he's a
tired.
little bit slower each time, And then finally, he falls asleep, and there's no fighting. Nobody's really getting frustrated, and man, that works really good so far.
I'm into this.
Yeah, that's
solid.
awesome. Yeah.
So are you like literally setting a timer, or it's just kind of whenever you look up and notice?
I'll look at my phone, and every now and then, like if you do wait too long at the very beginning of that,
Dad?
either dad or he'll get out of bed, and he'll like poke his head out of his door, and you can hear him, and so then you go check on him, put him back in bed, and be like, hey, I'll be back in five minutes, bud. Okay.
It's funny how so much of it is as a parent doing your best to be creative, to just think of different tactics to try.
For real.
I mean, that's half the battle, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and when they were little kids, and you're probably just getting out of this with the 1-year-old, there were only 3 or 4 boxes you had to make sure were checked.
Oh, right.
Before you knew that it was just something that you weren't going to be able to do anything about.
Correct.
Right. Like clean diaper, fed, have you slept?
Right.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's it.
And then if they're yelling after those 3 things, then it's just a kid yelling, and you're just
Exactly.
going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But as they get a little older, the number of things that make them yell get
Totally.
longer.
And the psychological games being played. And
Exactly.
just all that stuff. It's
But I do
wild.
like that. That's super creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you find that? Did you come up with that off the top of your head? Did you find that somewhere?
So honestly,
That's awesome.
because again, we were getting pretty frustrated, so like we started like researching some stuff, and sure enough, at this age is kind of where they start having a little bit of honestly a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. They think
Got
mom
it.
and dad's doing something now
Got
that
it.
they left the room, and they start getting scared of stuff at that point in night, and so they don't want you to
told me
leave.
about that.
And he's going through a growth spurt right now too, so there's like a lot of developmental stuff going on too, so all this is kind of adding in, and so
He's growing more.
yeah.
That kid's gonna dunk like next week. Holy crap!
Unbelievable.
And so yeah, some of the things that we found is like, well, try
And Liam is 3?
3.5. He'll be 3.5
Okay.
in next week, I guess. Yeah, and so we read some stuff on that, and it just happened to work.
That's
So,
awesome. I love that.
yeah.
I want to go completely off scripture, and I was thinking about it. So you mentioned your job earlier that you work with Vicino.
Yep.
What you didn't mention is that you're in one of the big chairs. You're pretty much running one half of that business, if my memory is correct.
I'm the president.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah,
it's-
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
El Presidente.
Exactly. So I wondered, as you've taken as you've taken a leadership role in
Sure.
your business, have you seen that translate, or have you been able to take one and apply it to the other in either direction? Because Nathan Carter is one of my very best friends, and he's now a CFO and has been a professional, business dude for a long time, and been in leadership for several years.
Right.
And he has applied things both directions, and I wondered if that applies with your career and life.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'd probably have to think, and maybe as I say what I'm about to say, I'll come up with more specific examples. But
Perfect.
Right out of the gate, what I could say is I think having kids when I did came at the perfect time in terms of, and you guys know it, when you're in your 20s and trying to make your career, you're kind of, I don't know if selfish is the right word, but like you're pretty focused
There
on
you
yourself.
go. Yeah.
And
There you go.
working very hard, and in the moments that you're not working, you're having fun. You're doing whatever you want. Right. So I will say that I think that having kids when I did was very helpful in terms of just making and enforcing good habits, right? In terms of daily discipline and making sure that you're just taking care of yourself. And so that has definitely helped, because I just know I have to be dialed in constantly. If I want to be a good dad and I want to do good with my job, I have to be dialed in. So that's something I can for sure say, where I think that having Owen and Jackson has helped me in my career for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But outside of that specifics, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. But yeah, I do think they came at the perfect time.
That's awesome.
As it relates to.
I was thinking about that, and completely off script. I just was curious.
Or
if
patience. I think that'd probably be one.
Yeah, patience.
Right?
I bet there's been a lot of things subliminally that I don't necessarily notice, but has helped me as I'm dealing with bigger and bigger problems
Right. Because I've
at the
noticed that
workplace.
personally, having kids, like, you have no other choice than to be patient
Yeah.
at times, right?
Yeah.
And before I had kids, I was one of the most impatient people ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and I just thought of actually one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was trying to tee you up.
Stress. So I think
Oh,
another
preach,
area
for
that it's
sure.
helped
Yeah.
is, when you have children, it's true, right? That like you just love them so much, and it just puts things into perspective, and it helps me realize that work stress is just that. It's work stress.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like if something were to ever happen to one of my kids, that's a billion times worse than anything that could happen at the
100%.
workplace. So that's helped me for sure.
Well, and not to get like too one-liner social media, funny little, gauche little sayings,
Sure.
but like, I heard the line, "Parenting is only hard for good parents,"
Yeah.
and I was like,
That makes sense.
"Oh yeah, dude," and it's one of those deals where I live and I struggle with that. I mean, kid didn't sleep, and she was a wild animal, and the pregnancy was tough, the delivery was tough, the recovery was tough. All of that stuff has been pretty tough, and we've talked about it. It's like, well, I don't think we're gonna go for another one because shit, this has been hard.
Yeah.
And it was one of those deals where it's had a little bit of that guilt where it's like, yeah, we're not very good at this.
No,
it's just we care a lot about it, and so we are like kind of working ourselves into that stress,
Totally.
like stress ball.
Or the situations or scenarios that you think about in your head with your kids. Like, why the heck am I even thinking about that? I would have never thought about that before I had kids, right?
Right.
And then you have kids, you're like, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? And you're stressing yourself out over something that hasn't even happened or probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's probably good for all three of our mindsets, because we're all dudes in our 30s with younger kids.
Right.
Whereas, and I think you kind of alluded to it earlier, us in our 20s might not have been as good as we are now.
Definitely not. Definitely
I
not.
was not prepared.
I'm just going to say
That's
that
a
now.
fact.
Like, I mean, not that we were irresponsible or anything, but we were less responsible, certainly. And so it's one of those deals where it's the maturity, the learning how to deal with stress, learning how to deal, because we also had the chance to have that selfish time to build our careers, to build that baseline that will allow us to now focus on both things and put our full selves into both jobs.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because,
Well said.
yeah, I'm way into that. Cody, we were talking in the break, and I'd be curious to know, or I think we should talk about it. You guys have started talking about schools for your kids and what you're going to do. I cannot believe that we've not talked about this yet, honestly.
Right?
We're 43 episodes in.
Yeah.
And I think this is
Nobody's brought
episode
up this
43,
topic yet.
and we've not brought this up, and I kind of can't believe we have. We've been having this conversation in our family, and I think even in our friend group, we've talked about it a little
Several
bit.
times.
But we haven't actually talked about it on the show, so I'm excited about it. Tell me about what you guys are talking about, like school-wise for the kids.
I just think it's such a big decision. I mean, I think
Yeah.
ultimately that's what we're grappling with right now is a little bit of the weight of the decision.
Yeah, sure.
And it's interesting. My wife, she was born and raised here in Springfield, and obviously there's a lot of options here.
Mm-hmm.
She went to Greenwood, which is a private school with, I think when she went there, only like 30.
It was a
Tiny.
small school.
Yeah. 30 kids maybe.
Where is it now? I honestly don't know.
I don't know. I feel like
It's quite a bit bigger now.
it's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was thinking it's more like maybe 75 or if not more, but I don't know that. I don't know. But anyway.
And are we talking per class, or is it?
Yeah, I was talking per class.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Please
No,
continue.
all good. Whereas I grew up in Warsaw, which is, like I said, about 90 miles north of here. Small town. There's no choices. You just go to Warsaw.
Yeah, you
know?
go to the high school.
Yeah,
One
sure.
option. Yeah.
Yeah, one option. And anyway, fortunately, it was a good one. I loved Warsaw High School, or Warsaw school system. But, just very different backgrounds. And I graduated with roughly 100 people.
Yeah.
So you just have all these things to consider, right? Like, do you go public? Do you go private? How big are the classes?
Yeah.
Depending on that.
Right.
Teacher to student ratio is a
Yeah.
big deal, man.
Smaller
stuff.
public or bigger public school.
You've got
right?
financial ramifications of such a decision. So, we're just having those conversations. I do think that we haven't written anything off,
Sure.
but we haven't made up our minds yet. So that's kind
Yeah.
of where we're at right now, actively talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and you had a particularly interesting school experience just because you came to Springfield
Yeah.
in high school.
Yeah, it's funny, and I'm glad you brought up this topic because I got some stuff I want
Sure.
to hit on here. But yeah, so my story is I went to a really small school from kindergarten through freshman year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was all one building, kindergarten through 12th grade. It was
That's
all
crazy.
real
Yeah,
small.
yeah. It was,
Yeah. Our class we had the biggest class in the school was 35 people.
Wow. Yeah.
So then moved to Springfield. Now I go from a class of 35 to a class of 400 plus.
My
Right,
goodness.
both public schools.
This your junior year?
My sophomore year.
Okay.
Sophomore.
Yep. And then to go to college at a private college. So kind of get a little bit of everything there.
Yeah, the whole college was about the same size as your high school, probably.
Smaller. Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smaller. It's kind of funny, and I'm glad I had that experience because you are able to see a bunch of different, experiences there, and get to know a lot of different people. And so I don't know. My whole take on it is, it doesn't matter where they go to school.
Right.
I don't care if it's big school, small school, private school, public school. They're going to be exposed to stuff.
Mhm.
No matter what it is.
Agreed.
And I think it's your job as a parent to prepare them for that. It's not the school's job to prepare / protect them from that, right?
Yeah.
School's job is to educate them. Because I know when I went to a small school, Humansville, there were some people there that, didn't end up so well, and there's some guys there that did very well for themselves.
Sure.
Same thing. I went to Northside, Hillcrest, and that gets a lot of flack for being on the north side of town. Same thing.
Yeah.
Some guys got stuck in their ways, didn't do very well for themselves. Other guys super successful.
Right.
And same thing in college. Yeah. And so I don't know. I'm just a strong believer that I don't think it matters where you really send your kids, just as long as you as a parent do a really good job raising them, preparing them for all that. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. So it's funny. Liv and I are both in lockstep in our decision already. We're
Good.
both products of public school. Both sets of parents were teachers or worked in schools. Liv's dad
Public
was
schools?
public schools.
Perfect.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
My mother was a music teacher. Liv's dad was a math teacher. Liv's mom still works in schools now. She actually works for Springfield Public Schools when they moved to Springfield, but she had worked for the Macon Public Schools where Liv went to high school for
That's
another
pretty small too, right?
Yeah, it was another very small school system, but we are both firm believers in the public school system because we've seen exactly what you said. You're going to be exposed to all different kinds of stuff, and it really comes down to how your parents get you ready to be exposed to those things.
Yeah.
I know several people because I also grew up around a lot of private school kids in Springfield. I was a member at the country club, and so I was with a bunch of the Catholic and Greenwood kids growing up. And they had just as much, if not crazier shit going on in their lives than the public school kids. Like, the public school kids were smoking weed and the private school kids were blowing coke. Right. And it was a whole different can of worms. Yeah. And it was just different problems. They weren't no problems. They were just different problems.
Yeah.
And so I firmly believe, and my brother, who is a rocket scientist, went to public school all the way through, got into Duke, then went to med school, and is now a practicing ophthalmologist.
That's awesome.
And he went to public school.
Yeah.
And so he's at the peak of where he could have been.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer in the public school system, and I will forever sing the praises of Springfield Public Schools in particular because I'm a product of them.
Right.
But
well,
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I love that you brought up the whole drug aspect of that because we were all probably exposed to drugs in school, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And nothing that I learned or they told me in school made me shy away from it. It was, if I even look at this, I'm going to be terrified about what my parents are going to do to me.
It's so true.
When I get home, right?
Yeah.
So again,
Dare didn't do shit. It was what mom and dad were going to do to me.
Right? Yeah. Dare. Yeah. Dare's. I think Dare taught you too much about drugs. Like, this is what they called on the street. But mom and dad was like, "I'll beat your ass if you even think about it."
I dare you to think about it.
Yeah.
Dare you? Yeah.
Well, and it's so interesting though because I went to college at the University of Arkansas, and a lot of my friends are Little Rock folks. And where Springfield Public Schools, it's the largest school district in the state.
Yep.
And you take whatever metrics you want out of it, I think it's a killer school district. And I think we've got good leadership in position. I think we've got a great superintendent. I think we've got good leaders going. Our local principals are awesome. But not every community is as lucky as we are.
Right.
Little Rock is that way. The public school system is apparently not great in Little Rock. Now, I don't have any firsthand experience, so I'm only going off of what the guys that I went to college with talked about. But everybody I went to school with, I only know of like 2, maybe 3 guys that didn't go to private school.
Yeah.
And it's such an interesting thing now because I've got guys that are our age that have kids and they're getting ready to start sending their kids to school.
Yep.
They're digging into their 529s already because they've been putting money into 529s early because they're going to have to start paying for private school.
Sure.
Lickety split. And so one of my guys was like, well, are you putting quite a bit of money into your 529? I went, no. No, I'm not. No, why? And he's like, well, aren't you going to do? No, I'm not doing private school, not at all. But I mean, some of the guys, well, like my couple of best friends in particular, went to Pulaski Academy in Little Rock, and they paid more to go to grade school than they did to go to college.
That's unbelievable.
And by they, I mean their families.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it was more expensive for them to go to grade school than it was for them to go to college.
That's wild. That's wild.
Do you think it's almost like back in my day type situation? Because I remember when we were in school, I remember parents or grandparents always talking about, schools are so bad now.
Sure.
All of us made it through it perfectly fine. And so now I feel like maybe like the next generation is like, oh, I can't believe what public schools are like now. I don't know
There's
if that's,
definitely some of that.
if there's a fact to that at all, but I kind of get that feeling. The more you think about it, it's just like, oh.
I mean, I think any of the blanket statements are probably wrong. And ultimately, what you said earlier, Derek, about being a good parent and teaching your kids at home, like the character, the values, the big stuff. That's what's most important.
Yeah, culture and values start here. In the house.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly. Yeah. So, it's a lot to think through. And
it is.
It's just,
We need to start asking that.
Yeah.
Because there are a couple of people in our circle that I know for sure are going to send their kids to private school.
Yeah.
And I want to hear their side of it. Because I know where I am.
Right.
I know that I'm firm in my public schoolness.
Yeah, I think we're kind of in the same seat there, and so I would like to just get their opinion on it.
Well, but we've not had Bone Schulte on yet. I know I'm pretty damn sure he's going to send his kids to private school or to Catholic school because he and his wife both went to the same Catholic school.
Brandon, here's your invite.
Yeah, you're coming, baby.
Yeah, I think we've actually, at least in terms of elementary school, we're fortunate. We live in a neighborhood that's walking distance from
Field
you
live
Elementary.
in one of the best elementaries in town. Yeah.
So I mean, they'll go there.
That's where I went to school, so that's why it's good.
Oh, perfect. The legacy of Bryant.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Drew Young. It's mostly Drew, the doctor. I was just
sure.
there.
Sure.
Also, because he lives in his house is like 10 houses away from the house I grew up in.
Oh, really?
I think he grew up going to my house.
The house that he lives in
really?
now. I played in that basement as a kid. The Jones family lived in that house, and I played in the Jones basement as a kid.
Small world.
Welcome to Southwest Missouri, baby. Southeast Missouri. Where am I?
Oh man, that public school education.
Shit.
Oh man. So looking forward to figuring out what you're going to do school.
Yeah, we got to talk more about this. I want to know so much more about what you guys decide to do.
Yeah.
What's some other things that you're looking forward to with the kiddos?
I'm a big sports guy. I mean, you guys probably know that about me. Huge sports guy. Don't have a lot of hobbies really other than sports. Play golf. Love to watch basketball and baseball. So I would say for sure I'm looking forward to Owen and Jackson getting older and playing sports with them. And
they're going to be tall.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, you can't tell on the camera, but he's 7'12".
And speaking of Field Elementary, when the weather's decent, we're already going to that park and
sweet
taking the foam golf balls and the little blue golf clubs and all that stuff. So sports are for sure something I'm looking forward to. But that's a topic there too. It's like I don't want to be overly pushy because I'm not. They're not going to get paid to play sports. Let's be honest. Right. So there's that element.
I like the confidence.
Right.
Hey, if you're getting them into golf, you can get some really good golf scholarships right now.
Point.
I'm telling you, golf scholarships are real.
Yeah. So anyway, that's definitely something. And then, just traveling in general, seeing new places. Since Jackson's just now one, it's been hard to travel a lot. But we have, just this past year, we went to the ocean with both of them. Went to Florida. And
Flyer drive.
We drove.
How'd that go?
It was hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Sure.
Yeah.
How old was he when you went?
Probably 2.5. Yeah, probably 2.5.
Nice.
And then I guess Jackson was like 6 months.
So,
yeah, it was a tough drive.
Did he just sleep the whole time?
I was going to say.
Pretty much. He actually wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I think Rebecca was the worst. like not her behavior.
I love you, babe. Never mind.
Sorry.
I didn't mean it.
So sorry. But I mean, like in terms of who hated it the most, I think it might have been Rebecca.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's
Does
told
she
me
road
next
trip
time
well?
No,
not at all.
no.
Okay, got it.
So I think next time we'll be flying.
Yeah.
I don't mind a long drive, but anyway, so like even there, watching Owen just the little cheesy stuff,
right.
Watching him on the boardwalk, just so happy and just running and ocean and it's just fun. So and frankly, my life, I haven't. There's a lot of parts of the world I have not seen. I wouldn't say I'm a seasoned traveler by any means. So, I think they're going to help kind of spark that in me, and then it's going to be fun. Yeah.
So are there like certain places you want to take them? Is there anything like, do you have like a travel bucket list with the kids or anything like that?
No, but a lot of nature. So I'd say a lot of the natural park or
national parks.
National parks.
Yeah, I got you. I knew what you meant.
That type of stuff.
Cool.
See the mountains, see just beautiful scenery. That's really what I want to do.
So you've hit the nail on the head. Liv and I were talking about this the other day. I don't really care where, like the actual location that we're going.
Exactly.
There's a handful of biomes that I've not seen or that I want to make sure my kid has seen. I've never been to the desert, like the actual desert.
Yeah.
I want to go see the desert. And I'd love to take Elsie to go see the desert. Yeah. And like, I've been in the mountains, I've been on the ocean, but I've never been on a ski mountain. I want to go see and or hurt myself and do that.
Sure.
And like expose Elsie to those things. But then, the desert in particular is something that I've never done before. I've been out in the middle of the ocean a couple of times, but never been in the desert.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't really care so much where we go, just new experiences. Because that's the one thing, we've done a couple trips with the boys now and just seeing them light up over, again, like you said, cheesy, super simple stuff that we really take for granted, but they just love. Like, we just went to Glacier, and when we went there, we stopped at this spot where there's bighorn sheep. And you can get like within probably 5 feet of them. Okay. And so we're at this spot, and there's probably like 50, 75 adults there. And they're all just, watching them or have their phones out, taking pictures. And then there's our two boys. Never seen one before.
Right.
And so they are just going insane. Like Liam's like, look, there's another one. Because that's the thing. It's like dead quiet because everybody's just like taking all this in, right? As an adult, being a mature adult. And there's our kids that are just losing their shit because this is the coolest thing ever. And Brody's running around pointing. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And it's just, it's the funniest thing too. But I mean, we felt bad because I kind of felt like we just ruined some of these people's experience, but at the same time too,
they're not your kid.
These boys were experiencing it, and it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
that's neat.
So cool.
Yeah. That's neat.
So I just think, whether it's mountains, ocean, desert, whatever it is, just something new, and they'll think it's super cool.
And it's a big world. There's a lot of new things to see.
Oh,
so it's exciting.
So go back to sports. Are you thinking like, with an almost 3-year-old, it's still too early to start sports and all that. But
I think so.
He's showing interest in golf.
Yeah, he's showing it. That's what I love it. I mean, I don't want to get too. I don't want to get too pushy and get overly confident that he's going to love sports. But it feels like he is. Yeah, he loves golf. He loves to swing the golf club, and he's got a much better swing than me by far. He likes basketball. Obviously got one of those little plastic basketball thing. Have to have it.
Yeah.
He's breaking down defenders, imaginary defenders, and
crossing
dunking
them over.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, and baseball. Yeah, set up the tee. He'll whack that thing.
Nice.
So, yeah, he's showing interest, and I take every moment I can, to take pictures of him playing sports and send it to Rebecca and say, "Ball is life."
Right.
Ball is life. It's everything.
Yeah.
So,
what about? I feel like we ask all of our guests that we talk about sports with too. Coaching. Are you going to coach them?
Oh yeah. I'd be happy to. Yeah.
You're the first guy who's been like full blown.
Right.
I'm in. I'm doing it.
No,
everybody else is scared to death and doesn't have a good answer yet.
I'm one of those guys.
Really? Yeah. That actually surprises me. But
he's scared of the demon inside.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I when they get older, like when you start talking middle school and beyond, I don't think I'm interested in that.
Yeah, of course.
But little kids, I think I'd like to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
It's the T-ball coach.
And I have
T-ball coach.
I have some appreciation for that too, because he recognizes that it's not that serious,
right? Yeah.
and I have a huge. I mean, we have talked about this like with a lot of reverence, like sports, but also it's like it's a bunch of second graders,
right.
Like all of them running to the same soccer ball at the same time.
Totally.
There's no plays happening. It's just a mob of kids trying to kick a ball.
Yeah, they're just having fun.
Just trying to do something. Whereas like we talked to Travis Lyles about it, and Trav is like, already drawn up plays. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready to get him going.
He has a whole playbook.
I can see that.
For each sport. Yeah.
We're running ZXY3 on two.
On two. Ready, break.
The arm pad. He would do that too.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Trav. Oh man.
What about on the sports thing? Do you guys watch sports? Because that's not something I can get Elsie to sit down and do yet. Now she's 2, so go figure. But like, there was an instance where I was trying to watch hog football on
Totally.
TV, and I don't get it in this house. I'm very much out estrogened in this house, and so the viewership in our home tends to focus a little more on the women in my home than it does the men.
Sure.
And by that I mean me. And so the one opportunity I had to like watch Hogs football, I was like, "Els, come sit down and watch this with me." 30 seconds and she was out. I want nothing to do with this. I'm not going to pay attention. Also, this is dumb. Why is there people running at each other? I just don't want to do this.
But did she let you keep it on? Like, did she
Yes,
just leave the area?
but
and
also
let you
she
watch
just
the
left
game?
the room.
Well, okay.
But I was also the one who was supposed to be watching her at that point, and so it's
yeah,
like, well,
so it's like
I
that's-
also can't now be in here.
Fair.
Okay.
And at that point, I'm still. I could probably use some coaching on this. I'm still a little chicken shit to let her out of my sight in my own house.
Fair enough.
Because she knows where the crayons are and she knows where the markers are, and there is crayon on my walls upstairs right now.
Yeah.
Well,
because I let her out of my sight.
we let Liam out of, or Allie let Liam out of her sight for 30 seconds tonight and busted his mouth. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
get that.
am a little so. To answer your question, no, I didn't get to watch a lot of sports at that point. Are your kids? Will they sit down and watch like a basketball game or something, or is that?
No, it's an absolute bummer. No.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
even
Not
though
it-
I
not
said,
yet,
even
huh?
though he enjoys playing some of the sports, he does not like watching it. He did
Really?
for a
Well,
while.
that's where love starts, though, is playing, right?
Right. Like, I think, I'm going off just vague memory here, maybe from like age 1 to 2. I want to say maybe he was okay with it.
Mm-hmm. That was
But-
before he could move very well, though.
Right. And before like they start to grasp, the shows that they like to watch. Like right now, Owen is
Good point.
all about Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I want to talk so much
Spider-Man.
about that.
Spider-Man. I mean, he runs up and down the hall doing Spider-Man stuff. So, so if I have any sports on and he's around, he's just going to yell, "I want to watch Spider-Man." So, no, to your point. So it sucks. I do a lot of, I got YouTube TV, so I'm watching a lot of things like recorded, like a couple hours
There you
later.
go.
Sure. Kids
Hopefully-
are in bed,
hopefully
now I can
ESPN
finally catch the game, kind of
doesn't
deal.
ruin it for you.
Yeah, put the phone on silent. Don't check Twitter or X.
yeah.
And then watch the game.
Yeah.
So maybe here in a few years, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is normal, but he's in a phase right now where he's not interested in watching sports.
So, Spider-Man the animated series. What are we watching right now?
Yeah, well, there's big Spidey and there's little Spidey.
Spidey and his
Liv,
favorite
was sent,
friends.
Liv found this. I didn't know that was a thing until just the other day. Liv found that on
Well,
TV.
I've just been learning this. There's a lot of different versions of Spidey.
You're an expert now, though,
Yep.
huh?
Mm-hmm. And Big Spidey says and does some aggressive things. So we have told him he can't watch Big Spidey. He
Got
watches
it.
Little Spidey.
So Spidey and his amazing friends.
Spidey and his amazing
Yep,
friends.
yep.
Ghost Spider.
Yep.
I can't remember the other ones, but
Yep.
yeah. So we are watching Spidey and his amazing friends.
That's so funny.
That's what we're
That's pretty
locked
good.
in on.
Yeah, it's a calm one. Yeah.
We only watch. What's the Disney movie? Going Red, Becoming Red, the
Oh,
one with
the
the red
panda?
red
Yep.
panda thing. That and Moana. It's all we watch.
Yep.
And she calls the turning red, going red thing, Puppy.
Puppy.
So she'll point at the TV and goes, "I watch Puppy now."
Sure.
I mean,
Sure, I
fair.
can quote that freaking movie
Yeah.
verbatim now.
Yeah.
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 Moana. That's funny that you brought that up. That's Brody's favorite.
Is it?
Big fan of Hey Hey and Maui. But
I
yeah,
mean, The Rock. Can't argue with The Rock.
right. But yeah, Spidey and his amazing friends. That's one of Liam's go-tos.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm pretty lucky. Like both boys don't mind watching basketball, football, or golf.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they like they're at a point now like they'll watch it for like 10 or 15 minutes and then like they'll play for a little bit and then they'll start watching it
Come
again
back.
for a little bit,
Yeah.
But luckily they do stay typically right around where I'm at so I can keep watching it.
That's nice.
So, I guess I'm pretty lucky in that aspect of it.
I mean, you guys got pretty open floor plan, so you can see pretty much everywhere from the living room, right? Unless they
Right.
run off
Or
down
if
the hall.
we're downstairs too.
Even
yeah,
better.
downstairs
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That works out well.
Well, and actually, that's a little hack, and I know you're familiar with my house, but downstairs is better because downstairs is where we have a lot of like the toys, and
yeah.
it's kind of like a play area, but I
yeah.
still have a TV, so that is where we go when I need to watch something.
Yeah, for sure.
and
Dad watches
watch it.
TV.
Yeah,
Here's the
for whatever
toys.
reason they're just not that interested in the TV down there because it's like over there by the fireplace. They got all the toys over here.
Sweet.
So they just don't ever mess with it. But with the football coming up and the Chiefs, I'm gonna have to keep testing this and
Yeah.
seeing if Owen will, come
figure
around.
something
I'm into that for sure.
Yeah.
What about? So we always ask everybody, what's some funny stories you have? With you having 2 toddlers, there's got to be some good stories that you have.
Yeah, plenty.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
Share
inevitable.
some.
Tell us.
Sure. I think one really good one is, you go back to January 2020. Okay.
Right.
Life was so good and easy.
Life was good and easy.
Man, it was
Nothing
going to be such a
happening.
good year.
Yeah.
It was going to be such a
It
good
was.
year.
It was going to be a
That's
great
gonna be
year.
my best year yet.
For everybody. And
Womp womp.
so we find out we're pregnant in January with Owen, the first one. And I feel a little bit bad. I keep talking about Owen, but Jackson is like hard, like the baby. He's a baby. There's just not quite as
He
many
hasn't
stories.
more with
developed a personality and stuff yet. He's not
Right,
there. It's
right.
okay. You'll have plenty of stories about him, I'm sure.
Right. So find out we're pregnant in January of 2020. We had been on the fence for a while of getting a new home, a slightly bigger home, and that served as a great catalyst. So as soon as we found that out, we started looking for houses.
Sure.
I think we got under contract pretty fast, like February or March maybe. I don't remember. Closed in June, so we probably got under contract more like March, April. I don't know, but
Sure.
regardless, we
But
closed.
it was like height of the pandemic.
Height of the pandemic. I mean, height of the pandemic by then, by
Yeah.
June. So we move into this house. We have zero furniture because we had gotten rid of all the furniture. We just wanted to upgrade, and it is what it is. So move into a house in June. At this point, I guess my wife is 6 months pregnant, and we immediately go to a furniture store in town, like one does, and spends quite the amount of money.
Write him a
But
check.
post-closing, which is important, right?
That's
Derek?
right. That's
Yeah,
right. Don't put that on a card till after you close.
Exactly.
Thanks, Dad.
So, so we go and buy furniture, and at this point, we did not realize, the whole impact that COVID was having to the supply chain.
Nobody did.
Like,
Yeah.
what the heck, you
Yeah.
know? So, and they didn't tell us. They weren't forthright with that information.
Yeah.
So
this will take 12 years.
Yeah, you'll get
Right.
that. We don't know when you'll get that, but you'll get that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we go in, we buy a lot of furniture, and June goes by, still don't have anything, and we're getting updates. So yeah, it's going to be a few more weeks. Okay. July comes and goes. Still no furniture. So I've got a new mom that's trying to nest with no furniture.
Yeah, she's
you know
just
what I mean?
moving a blanket around the living room.
Basically, like I'll put this here tonight. Excellent. Okay. And the pressure just starts to build. Rebecca is not feeling great about the situation. She's starting to get frustrated. I think pregnant women, hormones.
Sure, all of it.
There's a lot
emotions,
going on.
There's a lot of things flying, and just whatever. It's an emotional thing. So it reaches a point where, I'm not kidding you, Rebecca called them 21 times in a row in one day.
Holy shit.
We wanted our furniture.
Yeah.
We wanted it bad.
Where's my ottoman, bitch?
right. So we end up, it's September now, and we're going to go have Owen, and we still don't have furniture.
Oh, no.
But whatever, we go in.
Got a nice house though.
Got a cool house. Just nowhere to sit. And we go in, we have Owen. Literally while she's giving birth to Owen, the furniture store calls.
Oh, no.
And it ended up being a good call. But they call, they leave a voicemail to Rebecca, and I'm not kidding you, probably 2 or 3 minutes after Owen is born, I think they got him like on the table over there, still cleaning them up. Rebecca's saying, "Kody, call them back. Call them back." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" "I'm serious." "Okay."
Yes, ma'am.
So I take her, I'm not going to fight her.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I step out, call them. Thank God they're going to be there in like 3 days and deliver the furniture.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a long ordeal with a very, very happy ending where Rebecca tells me to leave the room whenever Owen is 5 minutes old and close the deal. So anyway,
Wait, hey,
we
you
got
know
the
what? You're
furniture.
there to take care of your family, and you were doing what you were asked to do, big boy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Owen had a bed to sleep in when you got home. There you go.
You were gonna have
It
to
all
put him
worked
in
out.
that blanket that she kept moving
Right.
across the
Pretty
floor.
much.
He's gonna sleep in this corner of the living room tonight.
So we'll never forget that. Talk about just a crazy experience.
Yeah.
Having a kid during COVID and being getting a new house, no furniture, just wild. But it all worked out. Brought Owen home and got all of our furniture like 2 or 3 days later. So it was perfect.
That's awesome. We talked a little bit about business and stuff, and you've joked that your kid's a negotiator.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any specific stories about him, like, or anything like that happening?
Oh yeah, I mean the guy is such a negotiator. Yeah, I wish I could like kind of hire him to do my negotiating, and Rebecca would agree. Maybe someday he will. But
perfect. Make it a family business, baby.
Yeah, I mean he's got two traits or two qualities I think just make him a supreme negotiator.
Okay.
One is persistence. He will wear you down, and he will just keep wearing you down until he wins.
Yeah.
And the second one is he's figured out the old anchoring, how to anchor a good negotiation. So I'll kind of get into both of those. But on the persistent side, he's really, really into like who owns what. If I had $1 for every time, he'd be like, that's mommy's, that's daddy's, that's Owen's.
Okay.
He sometimes will even do it. I mean, he will do it like for others. If he was here, that's Bryant's, that's Derek's. But he's going to walk out with 20% of your stuff. He's that's just kind of,
out here scheming.
It's just setting up his scheme. He wants to know who owns what so that he can then barter. And it's kind of like the kid or the guy, whoever it was, that started with a paperclip and traded it into a house. So, he will just at home. It doesn't matter what's going on. Everything's out. He'll be like, that's Owen's, that's Daddy's, whatever. And then he'll just start trading you. And next thing you know, a lot of things that weren't Owen's are now Owen's. And due to the persistence, he just wins.
Yeah.
He just wins. And then
that's funny.
The anchoring part. So we're kind of at the beginning stages of trying to potty train, and it's not going very well. But there are times where he'll use the potty, and it's like, that's great. And we try to bribe him with M&Ms. So we've got a thing of M&Ms up high in our bathroom. And so for the first several weeks, we would go in, and if he went potty, we'd give him an M&M. Well, somewhere along the line, he started saying, I want 2 M&Ms. I want 2. And Rebecca and I both held strong for a while, and we're like, no, you get 1 M&M. But somewhere along the line, it might have been me.
Just admit it, you caved.
Yeah, it was me. Maybe. Made a fatal mistake and caved. And he got his first M&M negotiating victory. And he got a second M&M. And then now it's just a slippery slope. Because this was literally like maybe 2 weeks ago. And so now every time we go in, handfuls, or at least anchoring, we go in, I'll say, you get 1 M&M. I want 5 M&Ms. I want 10 M&Ms. I want all the M&Ms. I mean, he's just throwing out big numbers. Right. And then it's a negotiation. It's like, well, what about 2? No, 5. Well, what about 3? No, 5. No, 3, buddy. You're stopping at 3. Okay, fine, 3. So it's just the kid wins. It's like all we wanted to do was give him 1 M&M. But now, next thing you know, we're going to be giving him the whole bag.
But they write books for people to learn this stuff.
That's true.
And he's innate already has this in him.
Good point. That's
So
what I'm saying. I mean,
you've created the perfect monster.
I hope so.
I love it.
I hope
so.
I hope so.
And the persistence thing, I don't know. Maybe that's like because he's pretty. He's just a little bit younger than Liam, but same thing with Liam, man. Persistent.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't answer his question, like I want to watch a movie, then he immediately asks you, I want to watch a movie. I want to watch. He keeps saying it until you look at him.
And it wasn't that long ago.
Then,
I'm sure you agree that they would forget.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. But then. And now it gets even worse as they get older because you're like, no, it's not time to watch a movie yet. And so he's like, okay. 30 seconds later, I watch a movie now?
Yep.
And you're like, no. And it like you said, man, they just keep going and going. And I'm just like,
yeah, they'll wear you down.
They do. And like party's like, let's just give in. So they shut up. And then party's like,
right. You can't let them win them all.
No.
Oh, God.
No, yeah, you got to, yeah.
Elsie's thing, she will say the same thing over and over and over again, but she goes straight to the whiny voice.
Okay.
Which she knows grates at me.
Sure.
So hard.
But it does.
Oh my God, it is the most frustrating thing for me. And my wife gave looks way worse than I do.
Oh my gosh.
I'm whispering it because she's upstairs and she could
Totally.
definitely hear it. But Liv is way worse than I am, and I'm proud of that fact.
Do you cave?
But I absolutely do
Okay,
too.
I was
So
gonna
yeah, we're
say.
both chicken
I mean, who
shit. Is
doesn't
what I'm
cave,
saying. Yeah,
right?
we're
Yeah,
both
yeah,
not
yeah.
good at this. So I think we do, in the interest of time, we should get to everybody's favorite part of the episode.
What's that?
It's Dad Joke of the Week.
Oh,
All
yeah, it
right,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, it
I don't want to cut off stories, but we got to tell some dad jokes.
We do.
Have to.
I feel like we got some good ones today too.
I don't know. I got several here. DC, what do you want? What do you got?
Oh, start with me. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you go first.
Got a good one here for you boys. So, how did the barber win the race?
He ran at a good clip.
That's got to be it.
He took the shortcut.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
There you go. That's pretty good. I like
Yeah,
that
right,
one.
right.
That was good. That was real good.
What do you got, Cody? You got anything good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Silent, confident,
Wow.
baby. I like it. What do you got?
Well, I was just wondering, have you guys heard about the new corduroy pillows?
I'm like trying to imagine this.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
surprised
ahead.
if you haven't. They're making major headlines.
Yes.
I mean, it's huge.
That's good. That's good.
That's solid.
I can visually see that now.
Right? Isn't that really funny? Like that you can think about like that when you're sleeping, just like dead to the world.
Well, I'm just glad to be with people that enjoy a good dad joke.
Of course.
Instead of the eye roll, like, it's so silly.
No, dude. This is all we've been talking about. Speaking of bad stuff happening to you, like getting lines in your face. My friend suffers from an addiction. Which is a little more serious topic here. Sorry. He's addicted to the hokey pokey. It's been a rough couple years, but he really turned himself around.
Like, please tell me he turned himself around.
Golly.
We haven't told that one before, have we? Okay, good. It's like the back of my head, I'm going, shit, I've already told this one.
And you took me for such a journey. I'm cheesing so hard just because we're having a good time. And then you start talking about a friend. I'm like, oh, shoot.
Oh, no, be serious.
Bring
Be
it
serious.
back
Be
down.
serious.
Okay.
Be serious.
Wow.
I like a good
Well, that was
misdirect.
3 good ones.
Yeah, way to go, team.
Good
That was pretty
ones.
good.
There we go.
Did you have a good time?
Had a great time.
Good.
Thank
I'm
you
glad
guys.
you're glad you
appreciate you
out
having
here,
on.
man.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing
Did a
this.
Great job.
We always enjoy having our buds on, and I'm so glad you brought up the school story or the school conversation,
For real.
because again, that's something. It's so funny to see like how often we come up with the same topics and get people's different opinions on
Sure.
them and see how they differ, but that's something we've talked about off the air, but we've just never talked
Right.
about on, and I'm
Right.
excited about it.
Yeah.
What do you got? You got anything else?
Just give a shout out to all the social media platforms there.
Yeah.
Hitting up YouTube. We're at 1,655 subscribers. So that-
1,655.
So that
Nice.
continues to grow. So appreciate everybody that's subscribing, liking, sharing,
All the social media stuff.
all that. Good
Go do
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
My mom will
Go do it.
definitely like
Yeah?
this after
Yes.
this. For
All right.
sure.
1656.
1656,
Mama
baby.
Redwing.
Thanks, Mom.
For sure.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. But yeah, please continue to do that. Again, we enjoy reading it and appreciate all your input there.
Yeah. Thank you all. So unless... Oh, wait. I got to say, way to go, Decent Dad.
Hey,
Nice work.
Well done, buddy.
appreciate you
Solid.
guys.
Thanks for
Good
coming,
job, big
dude.
guy.
Appreciate it.
Anybody else have anything else?
I got nothing.
All right. For
No.
the good of the pod.
Let's
all
do
right.
it.
That'll do. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you. And thank you very much. We'll see you next time. There's also a little bit of that rah-rah that I'm not used to.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's cheering each other on. Like, the one other time that I went, it was a tester. I went with my high school buddy who was our fullback, and he's a firefighter, and we went. And I'm the last one there, last one finishing the workout, and everybody is in a circle. I'm doing...
Oh,
crunches or push-ups or ring
they're
something.
all there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody is in a circle around me. You can do it. And I just
I'd be
wanted
the
to
same
get
way.
the fuck away from
I'd
me.
be the same way.
I was so
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah.
I was so pissed and embarrassed, and because
Yeah.
I was also I was embarrassed.
Congrats, you're last.
Yeah, it's like fuck. And also I was so wiped. I got home and I couldn't bend my arms. I was so completely. I was just so tight that I was straight arming a Gatorade, trying to get a Gatorade into my mouth.
Find the
But
right
obviously I'm not going to do that in my house. So I'm laying in the tub,
Oh my
butt
god.
ass naked with the water running, trying to straight arm a
Yes.
Gatorade into my mouth.
Jesus.
How much of that Gatorade
Wow.
did you get?
None. I was just basically pouring a Gatorade on my head. Hey y'all, my name is Bryant Young.
And I'm Derek. Chaney.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
That was, hey y'all, my name's Bryant Young, and I'm Derek Chaney.
And Derek Chaney. Yeah.
What the
Why is
fuck was that? Derek Chaney. Good
What?
Lord, you have a stroke there?
All